Barbados, get up.
Good morning Barbados, good morning to you. Good morning, 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 morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, morning Barbados, good morning to you. Good morning, morning Barbados, good morning.
Wake up, wake up, wake up.
Morning to you.
Good morning to you, everyone, and welcome to today, Wednesday, the 5th of February, 2025. I apologize for the voice, but as it would happen, and this is for me quite funny. Now, every morning when I come to the studio, I do something pranky with the crew. I do something crazy just to have a little bit of fun. And last week, I came into this production studio and I said, I lost my voice. I can't talk today. What are we going to do? And set them in a panic. And as it would happen, almost to the day, a week later, here I am with a frog in the throat and everything else. But life is brief and I continue to enjoy life indeed. So it's good to have you company. Good morning, everyone. And said it to me again because they're talking to me. They're laughing at me. And anyway, right. So welcome to today. Today is going to be a wonderful Wednesday indeed because it's also the birthday of my godchildren, Christopher and Michael Birch. They're celebrating their 11th birthday today, twin boys, but they're also sharing that birthday today with their mother. So they happen to have been born on her birthday as well. So to Christopher, Michael and Catherine, congratulations on your respective birthdays today. Do enjoy it immensely. Always good, my boys, my boys. I'll see them a little later on as we continue those birthday celebrations. Also, as you know, as it goes, I want to encourage you to continue interacting with us on our Facebook page. Thank you so much as you do so. And thank you for watching us on a YouTube stream as well, also on our website. Always good having you company. As you can tell, it's just the voice. This little body of mine is still fine. So I think this is one I shall overcome very, very soon. Okay, today's question of the day. Get cracking, folks. This one is simple, Simon. 228-5562 or 228-5563. The question of the day is, if you woke up and discovered that you were invisible, what would you do? Serious as a judge. What would you do? First, if you woke up and you found, wait, nobody can see me, what would you do first? Seriously, because now you're invisible. Call me and let me know. What would you do first? I can tell you what mine is. I can tell you what Peter's is. Peter's in the studio with me. But I can also tell you what yours is too. So give me a call, 228-5562 or 228-5563, and tell me, if you woke up and discovered that you were invisible, what would you do first? You can also make your comment on our Facebook page as well. Tell me what you would do first if you discovered you were invisible and suddenly you could not, nobody could see you. You want to hear mine? You see, Nadia is my producer. I would love to wait until she's settled and just tickle the life out of her. Let her figure out, where is this tickle coming from? Jump all over the place and tickle her till I'm going crazy. Good morning to you. Hello.
Peace be unto you and yours, a blessing and a wonderful day to each and every one.
Thank you, Gail. Back at you. So if you woke up and discovered that you were invisible, what would you do first?
I would be glad because I would know who is for me and who against me.
How would you know that?
I am invisible, so I could travel and go around, so I go around to each and every one.
You go to check everybody just to see
Yes.
who is true to you?
Yes.
That's going to be a long day.
Well, never mind, it could be long weeks, because I am invisible. You said only for a day?
Only
for
one day.
Oh, okay. I would manage because I am invisible, so I could get on the bus free, get somebody carefree, and I travel around to those who close to me.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you very much, Gail. Have a good day, okay? All right, 228-5562 or 228-5563. Those are the numbers to call to tell me if you woke up and you discovered that you were invisible. My question is, what would you do first? Gail says she would go check out some people to see who's honestly true to her. I don't know about that. I will tickle Nadia. Peter, I know, is going to go somewhere where he ought not to be. I'll leave that right there. If you know Peter, you know what I'm talking about. But what do you think? If you woke up and you found that you were invisible, where would you go first? Now, coming up today, it is Wellness Wednesday. What a day to enjoy Wellness Wednesday with me, the frog in the throat. Dr. Joyce, who will join me shortly, we want to navigate the questions around burnout in the workplace. And some of you perhaps are experiencing it, but you don't know what to do about it or even to identify it. And so we'll talk to her in just a little while about that. The BNSI is hosting a virtual workshop on service excellence. And so we asked the question, why? What is it about? And what can we earn and benefit from this workshop? And when will it be? Those questions we'll pose to them when we're joined by the Deputy Director in just a bit as well. And when today we talk HR with Herma, we want to take a look at this era of change and how artificial intelligence is impacting the way we do what we do in our respective workspaces. But I'll briefly stop to take this call. Good morning. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thanks.
Oh, very welcome. And tell me, what's your first name and the parish you're watching from?
My name is Stafford, and I'm in St. Peter.
Stafford of St. Peter. Stafford, this is your month to celebrate regathering. Are you gathering and enjoying the month?
Yes, I'm enjoying the month because today is my birthday too.
Congratulations, Stafford. Well done. You're born on a good day. You're born on the same day as my godchildren and their mother. So,
Yes, I heard you say it.
Yes, sir. So you're one lucky man, I'm telling you. So if you woke up and you found you were invisible, Stafford, what would you do first?
Well, what I will do is go and eat everything in sight for my birthday. I drink.
You're a licorice man, Stafford, but that's all right.
It's my birthday.
It's your birthday.
This is the devil's born of love, so I have to eat and drink.
Good man, good man. Stafford, thank you very much indeed. So Stafford is celebrating today as well. To all of you who are also celebrating, congratulations to you too. Now, also coming up today, have you heard about the VIP red carpet event? If you have not, we will tell you about it today. It's an opportunity for you to engage in a very meaningful way. That way we'll share with you. We're also excited today because today is the first of a new series looking at design and decor. Some tips we want to share with you, and our master stylist in Monique McKay, she's back. She will help us look at powerful ways to elevate our homes and also to stimulate our good mental health. And the author of the book, Bejan the Sea Crab, will join us. She's written a series of children's book, and so we want to hear from her the rationale behind this book and how the children can be stimulated to read more as well. So the question still is, if you woke up and discovered that you're invisible, what would you do first? Online, Patricia says if she woke up and she discovered that she was invisible, she would head straight to the White House. All right, I shouldn't ask you anything more. No problem, Patricia. I wonder what you would do when you get to that White House, though. What would you do? Who would you go to first? Is it him or her? You talk to me about that later, Patricia. You have a call. Good morning.
Good morning, this is Patricia. I will go in the church first if I myself invisible.
You will go into the church first?
Yes, please.
Why?
To find out why I am invisible.
Oh, to find out why you're invisible?
Yes.
So you're going to get on your knees and pray and ask God, why am I invisible? Is that what you're going to do?
Yes, please.
And you couldn't do that in your house?
No, I go in the church and do it. Even
What?
if it's better for you in the church.
It is better for you in the church. What church do you go to?
The Anglican church.
The Anglican church. All right, Patricia, thank you for your call, all right?
Yes, please.
She's a good girl. So, before we go on, I just want to remind you that there's an opportunity for you to win a staycation with us at Mornin Barbados when you enter our vacation Valentine's promotion. Valentine's is literally around the corner. Have you already sent your entries in? If you're not sure what we're talking about, take a look at this.
Get away.
Are you and your bae ready for the ultimate getaway? 98.1 The One and Mornin Barbados are teaming up to give 4 lucky couples a chance to win an unforgettable vacation. Here's the deal. Starting January 20th through February 15th, send us a video to marketing@cbc.bb or via WhatsApp to 467-5465, telling us why you and your bae deserve a vacation. Videos must be 30 to 90 seconds long and may be shared on social media and on TV8. Be creative, be fun, and most importantly, show us the love. Submit your video and you and your bae could be packing your bags for an epic staycation. So, what are you waiting for? Send those videos in and let's make it a vacation to remember.
Vacation.
Get away.
This promotion is brought to you by our valued sponsors, Pine Hill Dairy, Burger King, Post Wireless World, Girlfriend Expo and Arts Festival 2025, The Magic of Carnival, Hilton Barbados, Coconut Court Hotel, Ross Trevor Hotel, 98.1 The One, and Mornin Barbados.
So good luck to all of you. Remember, you have until the 15th to get it in. There's also a big celebration we're having here with 98.1 The One, as well as they mark another anniversary. And that event is going to be happening on the 23rd of February. It's Playa Fiesta at Copacabana. And this one is for those of you 18 years and above. So parents, be mindful of what's happening 18 years and above. $20 before a certain date and of course thereafter. But keep listening to 98.1 The One for more details about how you can come out and party and play a fiesta with the good guys at 98.1 The One. Good. What's burnout? Wouldn't you like to know? Have you experienced burnout before? And what do you do when you are feeling burnt out? Let's turn our attention now to Dr. Joy Sue, who is consultant psychiatrist with the psychiatric hospital. She will shed some light on this and what we can do to really resolve ourselves when we feel burnt out. But do you know the symptoms? Do you have any clue as to what it is when it is defined as burnout? Dr. Sue, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Thank you so
Happy
much
to
for
be here
joining.
again.
Good to see you. Now, what is burnout?
Well, burnout is a state of physical, mental, and emotional exhaustion that results from prolonged work-related stress and overwork. And usually with that comes along a feeling of not being accomplished or lack of accomplishment, and then this attitude of cynicism towards the workplace.
So it's not a physical, as in I'm feeling tired necessarily alone. There's so many other psycho-emotional activities that are happening in the human being.
Well, it's funny that you say that because most persons, I think, view it as that physical component of just feeling the fatigue. But it's so much more than that. Yes, it's psychological components as well. As I say, you start to feel as if you're not accomplishing what you thought you should be at work. And you also start to feel detached from the workplace. You start to withdraw. You start to feel cynical, and maybe your colleagues start to notice that you're getting a little sarcastic or snarky at work. So it's also those.
And sometimes we want to say it's the work, but could it also be me?
Well, it's a combination of factors. So I find a lot of people do tend to put it on the individual in terms of what you should do about it. But the truth is that a lot of it is to do with organizational factors as well. Or it could be like a mismatch between the organization and yourself. So say you have a certain set of personal values and the organization does not share those personal values. That mismatch could lead to you easily getting burnout because you get frustrated with that situation if you feel that you have to be going against your personal values.
So if I don't fix this, what happens?
Well, the thing about if you don't fix this, it's going to lead to either a lot of persons who have workout, they start to have a lot of absenteeism, or they're tardy, or they have intention to leave. They may leave the work, but then they also have physical health problems or emotional problems. So they may start getting a lot of headaches and aches and pains, problems with their appetite, problems with their sleep. They might actually get very anxious, start worrying a lot, start to feel depressed and down. So it can lead to a more severe mental health problem as well.
But then we ask ourselves, is it truly me? Because I don't understand who I am now. I'm in the workplace, the work hasn't changed. It just feels like a lot. But suddenly my whole personality has changed. And is it something that others around me can pick up, or only I can identify?
Well, usually, yes, others might be able to pick it up because, as I said, your attitude might change and you might start snapping at your colleagues. And as we said, if you're all of a sudden you were a person who was conscientious, would always get to work on time, but you're coming to work an hour late, or maybe it started gradually 15 minutes late, 30 minutes late, now you're back to an hour late, it's going to start to affect your colleagues, and they're going to definitely notice that something's going on with you.
So how do we talk this out? Because I recognize I'm being burnt out. I recognize I'm an employee. I need the job, so I really can't complain. So how do we tell someone about what we are experiencing?
Well, first you have, as you said, is recognizing that you're burnout, because a lot of people don't want to admit to that, because I find in our culture, we have like a culture of overwork. Some people wear that as a badge of honor. They think that the more work that they're doing, the better of a person they are, or that says something about how accomplished they are. So the first thing is to admit that, and then to find someone that you trust to talk about it. That could be a professional person, it could be a friend, or it could be your supervisor at work if that person is a trusted person.
But then you could get the answer saying, but there's nothing different. You're doing your jobs. Buckle down and get on with it. So what's the risk, the serious risk to my overall mental and physical health as a consequence of me being pressed, even though I'm burnt out, I'm feeling burnt out?
That's what I'm saying. So if you have a workplace that's not supportive, which is a risk factor for burnout, by the way. So you go to your supervisor and you say, I'm not feeling well. The work is too much work. I'm overloaded. I need some help. Or I don't have the resources to do my work, because that's another cause too. And they're not responsive. They say, well, tough. Everybody else is facing that, so suck it up. That could lead to you feeling as if, I would say, you're not supported at work. So that leads to even more of a negative feeling, or feeling that you're not valued by your workplace. So then that can lead to, as I say, more serious consequences for mental health, like depression things. So then that starts then to affect other spheres of your life. So your family life is affected. When you go home, you still can't tune out from work. That mood then starts to persist in other areas. It's not just work, because burnout is specific to work. So you may be fine at home at first, but then when you step into the workplace, you have this gloomy, negative kind of mood. But then as it progresses, it starts to affect other spheres of your life. So then your social life and your family life is affected.
Boys, it's in total. I mean, we're a total person, and you could also get physically ill as a consequence of not managing it as effectively as you possibly can, talking it out with someone who understands and who can help. So, as I come back to the question, how can we fix this so that people are shielded from burnout, or when we recognize there is burnout, that we can attend to it as quickly as possible?
As I said, a lot of the emphasis is placed on how the individual should fix it. And I can understand why that is to some extent, and that's because you might not have control over your work factors. So as I say, you might have that supervisor or manager who just doesn't care that you have burnout. But it should be really an organizational response, especially if you find you have a number of employees that are burnt out. But some of the individual things that you can do, you can try to schedule time for relaxation activities. So things like exercise, yoga, meditation, any form of mindfulness really would help with the anxiety and the stress levels that you're feeling. You can also work on your time management. So even for myself, at the beginning of this year, I had to sit down and look at my schedule, because I found I felt overloaded as well. And I had to make a schedule to make it seem more manageable and break things down so I could see where I could segment things. And then you might also need extra training. Maybe there's some extra training that you can do on your own to make you feel as if you're more capable, or you have the skills, resources needed to do the job. You might need to work on your interpersonal skills, for instance. So persons who have a lack of empathy, or they're not good with communication skills or interpersonal skills, they're more susceptible to burnout too, because they might feel isolated at work because they don't easily form friendships with their colleagues. Because remember, when you're at work, it's like you have your home family and you have your work family. But if you feel as if when you're at work that, it's not that kind of an atmosphere, it's all tension, you're not talking to people, you will more easily feel that stress, and that will lead to burnout.
Is there a particular characteristic that is more prevalent to be burnt out? For instance, the person who's a high achiever, who likes to constantly be going, or the person who's an introvert. Are there certain characteristics that are more likely to be burnt out?
Well, actually, it tends to be the extroverts that can get more burnt out because they're always novelty seeking. So they always want new, exciting activity and sometimes they make impulsive decisions, and that can lead to an emotional draining or emotional exhaustion, which predisposes to burnout. But then there are also some persons who tend to be what we call a little bit more on a neurotic scale. So they tend to be a bit more anxious. So persons who worry a lot and they get stuck in a loop worrying about something and they can't get it out of their head. And they tend to feel guilty about things. So if they say no, they're going to feel guilty. So then they don't set boundaries and they don't say no. They take on more work that they can handle. So those type of persons who are not good at problem solving. So instead of trying to solve problems that you can control or you can manage, you try to deal with it by putting it off and maybe employing those relaxation techniques I talked about. But really and truly what you should be doing is actively problem solving. And I already mentioned the persons who don't relate well to others, who don't have those good interpersonal or those good communication skills, who don't show empathy. So they're going to get isolated because people are not going to be able to relate to them. So those kind of personal factors predispose to people getting burnout.
My gracious, it has to be so difficult because when you lack interpersonal skills, the supervisor is going to probably ignore you. You're just a difficult one to deal with, so burnout. And so there's a responsibility, I believe, too, on the organization to be able to identify when they see an employee struggling with managing time, with managing the emotions, with managing the things that you spoke about before. When that happens, what do you think is the onus that is placed on the organization to step in and to help that employee navigate these emotions at that point?
Well, I think it's to the benefit of the organization to step in. As I said, and usually when you have a situation like this, it's not usually just one employee. It might be several employees because of the work conditions or the work expectations. So when that happens, there's also a loss of productivity for the company because these are persons not becoming detached or they're not engaged at work. So they're going to do the bare minimum and get out of there. They're not going to be motivated to go that extra mile or, do your work to a certain extent. So it's in the best interest of the company to make sure that they take care of their employees' mental health. So the companies need to look at the workload that they're giving to persons. Is the workload reasonable for their job description? Is it appropriate for their job description? Even because sometimes persons are expected to do things that are not a good fit for their skill level or their expertise, or persons start off in one role and then they get a whole lot of other things added on. So there's no clarity then in their role. So sometimes you have to go back to that job description and see really and truly what is this person's role supposed to be? Is this role appropriate? Does this role really apply to what the job the person is doing? Is it fair? Because that's another thing too that really leads to burnout when people sense that there's a sense of inequity in the workplace. Mm-hmm. So you're getting treated differently from somebody else in the same job post as you, but you're doing a lot of work. And sometimes you see a lot of times where there are persons in the workplace who are kind of like slackers. And because they're slackers and the supervisors don't want to address them or they can't address them, they then put more work on the colleagues that were willing to do work, leading to those colleagues saying, this is really unfair. Mm-hmm. Starting to get very fed up with the situation and leading to burnout. So all those factors are things that companies need to look at. There are things you can do like scheduling of the work. During COVID-19, a lot of companies went to online work. But then when COVID-19 was over, a lot of companies were saying, well, you have to come back into the office. Even though for some of them, I'm sure the online work was working out really well. And for persons who have children and so on, it would have been a better situation. It might have been a better situation for them to be working online. No, I know in the States, for instance, my aunt's company gave them a choice. My aunt now works hybrid. So some days she works from home. Some days she goes into the office and she works in the legal office. So it's about flexibility for scheduling. And it's also, companies need to also realize, or managers need to also realize, it's very important to include employees in the decision-making process. So if you feel like you don't have any control over how you do your work, or any aspect of your work, it's also going to lead to burnout. So you don't have any autonomy at all. Everything is dictated for you or micromanaged. That leads to burnout. So you need to involve the employees in the decision-making process as far as possible. So I believe in a participative decision-making style. So let them have an input in how they do their work. Maybe they have ideas that how their work can be done more efficiently. It doesn't have to be your way or the highway. So as I said, and that would help your work or your organization as well, because then that employee will be more productive. So there are many things the organization can actually do. And their burnout screenings are available online for free. So this is not something that's out of the reach for organizations to do either.
Dr. Joy Sue, you've just left us with so much to ponder. And I really do thank you for that, because oftentimes we don't understand what burnout is. And sometimes it can feel to the individual that the organization is so unfair towards them. And you find yourself losing some really good talent because you've not carefully addressed the situation. But thank you so much for joining us. And we look forward again on a Wellness Wednesday to engage with you on some more. Thank you so much, Dr. Joy.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a
You're
good day.
very welcome. Likewise. Dr. Joy Sue, she's a consultant psychiatrist with the Psychiatric Hospital. We looked today at burnout. Is that you? Now do you know what to do? And if you're a leader in an organization, do you know too what to do? We're coming right back after this.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it.
27 and a half minutes after 6 o'clock. It's still Wednesday, the 5th of February 2025. We turn our attention now to an upcoming workshop hosted by the Barbados National Standard Institution. Joining me now to talk about it and the benefits that flow therefrom is the Deputy Director Acting, Mr. Fabian Scott. Fabian, good morning to you.
Hi, good morning, Pearson. Morning, Barbados.
Good to have you. Why is this workshop being held?
Okay, so Barbados, through the BNSI, is hosting an international committee of experts. This committee particularly is called Technical Committee 312. It's a committee from the International Organization for Standardization. So they're going to develop standards on service excellence. And we all know how service delivery in Barbados is. So we'll talk about that, and I'm sure I see you smiling already. Right, so they're here to have their regular committee meetings. Barbados is a member of that committee. We sit in that committee to help develop these standards on service excellence. So we are hosting them this week, and through the hosting of that committee this week, we're also going to be holding a workshop for local stakeholders so they can benefit from the expertise of the other experts who are here, so we can train and we can deliver some knowledge about service excellence to our local stakeholders.
And these stakeholders comprise who? Because oftentimes when we hear the BNSI, we think manufacturers, people in the manufacturing industry only. Is it exclusively for them, or what other industries are captured in that?
That's a very good question. So you're right. Historically, standards were manufacturing based or targeted. Now, the world has changed, and services are very important to any macroeconomy. And so therefore, standards have also changed. And our customers are not just manufacturers now. We're talking about service entities. Your public service organizations, your commercial organizations, your not-for-profit organizations. So the standards that are being developed are also targeted to all of these types of entities. And so we've invited a whole number of people. Actually, I am pleased to say the workshop is at capacity. It's full right now.
Oh dear.
Yeah, the room is designed to hold about 70 people. It's full. So we are also offering the opportunity to persons to participate virtually. And you can find the virtual registration in our social media page, Facebook, Instagram. Just type in BNSI, and you can register there. So no, it's not just the manufacturers. So we have people registered who are coming from, as I said, not-for-profits, from your commercial entities in the private sector. Even the public sector organizations themselves who deliver services are going to be there.
To me, when I hear of standards of excellence, it's almost like having a common language by which you speak, so that as I engage with you, there's an understanding of what is acceptable and not acceptable. What is that, as simple as it is, that we can derive from the workshop upcoming?
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. That is one function of the purpose of the committee, to develop common language and common approaches. So if you think of this word called customer satisfaction, we all think that this was the top tier, the epitome of what was supposed to be how we satisfy our customers. But sad to say, the world has moved on. It is no longer that. In this thing called service excellence pyramid, the first two levels at the bottom are what is considered customer satisfaction. So the world has moved past that. We are now at something called customer delight. So what is customer delight? Well, it is where you are going to be satisfying the needs and expectations of your customer and going above and beyond. So if you think about it, like I came here this morning, there were several customer touch points that I would engage. So the security guard is the first one, the reception is the second one, your producer who you mentioned by name is another one. So at each customer touch point, I would experience some type of service. Was it above and beyond what I expected?
What's your answer?
I'm not going to say that. but yeah, so you understand the purpose of that is to have these organizations use these standards as a framework to consistently deliver excellent service to the customers, because it has lots of benefits.
What you just did was map it out.
Yes.
And oftentimes we do not map it out, that every step the customer takes is also another measure of that we need to employ. And so I suppose for those who are relatively new to developing customer service experience templates, that this workshop is also for them.
Yes. So one of the standards we will particularly focus on is designing service excellence to achieve outstanding customer experiences. So the experts are there to help us develop that, I would say, deficit that we have in our country. Barbados is supposed to be a country where we are striving for global business. We are competing with the rest of the world. We have a lot of professional services here that we deliver. We have a lot of service delivery organizations, and we want to get global business. Now, those persons have an expectation, I suppose globally, because expectations are always increasing, and we need to be able to meet them at the level where their needs are satisfied and sometimes go beyond what they expect. So this workshop is entitled or intended to be able to help people see what they are, see where they are, maybe deficits, look at how we can modify or transition their customer service experience. And it's not just going to end there. BNSI is going to take a significant role in addressing service excellence, because we have these standards, they're national standards, we've adopted them as well. And we're going to look to possibly do some training and capacity building in that area as well. Because once the experts are gone, what do you do?
Exactly.
You still have to continue the journey, right?
Yes.
So that we're looking at that.
You spoke of deficits. I know you pricked my imagination here. So I want to know if you can share from where you sit in BNSI, what are the deficits that you see in excellence in customer service delivery?
Okay, so the fortunate thing about our business is that we get to interact a lot with our stakeholders. So we have a lot of seminars, we have a lot of training activities, and so we are constantly hearing from our customers and our stakeholders about the service experience here. So one of the things they particularly point to is delayed responses, so inefficiency in the response. So that is a major thing that they've pointed out. Also, the lack of tracking of customer complaints. So you may make a complaint, the entity is truly trying to resolve your complaint, but there is no communication as to where in the process is your complaint being addressed. So that lack of communication. And then there is also another one about, let's say, being able to satisfy the customer at their need. Because frankly, maybe the business does not understand what the customer's needs is. Are they doing any type of surveys, research, feedback mechanisms? So it's going to address all of those things, and we're hoping that persons will walk away significantly knowledgeable, and we're going to work with them later to craft these service excellence deliveries.
And I don't want it to be punitive, because oftentimes when you hear that, you think, oh my word, now they're going to be monitoring everything I do, and I'm going to be in trouble all the time. That's not what it's about. It's about creating that framework that allows us to operate even more efficiently. Would that be a fair assessment?
Yes, it is. It is. I would say it's a fair assessment, but there are a lot more benefits. We can point to some entities here who deliver superior customer service, and we know who they are. So you go there, someone greets you warmly, they may ask you, how can I help today? They will point you to, the particular line of service you need delivered. The response is timely. The person may ask, are you satisfied? Has your problem been solved? They will check back with you. So we can point to entities here who are doing it, and they understand the benefits of doing that because, one, the customers remain loyal. They're likely to return, they're likely to repurchase, and they're likely to recommend your business or your service or your product to another person. So there are financial benefits to it. In addition to that, it also has the benefit of making your ease of hiring easy, because if it's known that your business is one that has superior customer service, you find that trying to recruit talent that you mentioned is become much, much easier. Persons want to work there, right? And so there are lots of benefits to doing this type of thing, both financial, both on the HR side, and also on the service delivery side. So it is there, and we believe that it will help.
Is this a step towards certification in certain areas as well? Because having done it, having set my employees there to be a part of it, having determined that this is the way that the company wants to go, does it lead to certification so that I can put it up and everyone knows this is how we operate?
Definitely, we can do that for you. That would be a service that BNSI offers. We do verification and certification services. Like I said, we are going to design the training program for it, because you have to make sure people are able to meet the standard first, which is not terribly difficult to do, right? So we'll do the training and capacity building, and then we can look at the verification and certification services. That will come later. But definitely, yes, because it is a benefit to put on your sticker on your door to say, hey, we offer superior customer service here, right?
That's right. Yeah. But I asked that deliberately because I wanted to come to the policing of it. Because having done all of that, you want to be consistent in your delivery of excellent service. But someone all the time has to monitor. Someone has to keep an eye on the guard, so to speak. Is that also part of the service offered by the BNSI?
Yes. We do that, but I would like to suggest there's a different approach. We all do it in terms of policing. It's called social media, or it's called customer feedback, right?
Yes.
They are one of the most effective means of policing any type of service you're offering, even in the digital space. So we are also going to be addressing service excellence in the digital approaches, because the government of Barbados has made it quite clear they want to digitize a lot of services. Commercial businesses also recognize there's a lot of benefits to doing that, because there's more profit margin in delivering some services digitally. But then how do you address service excellence in a digital manner, right? We're also going to address that. So yeah, the feedback from the customers is one of the greatest means of policing, but we can also do a measure of what we call surveillance and evaluation as well.
So the workshop is when?
The workshop is Tuesday, the 11th of February. We are hosting it at the Courtyard by Marriott Hotel, right? 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Again, we ask people to register. It's full right now.
For in-person.
For in-person persons.
But you can do it online.
You can do it online, so we're asking persons to register. If you want to reach us, you can call the BNSI at 426-3870, and we will give you guidance as to how to register, or we can help you register. Or you can send us an email at bnsi.office@barbados.gov.bb, and someone will respond to your email to help you register as well.
Well, as you spoke, we have the information right there on our screen. I hope you took note of everyone as well. But, I think this is phenomenal. This is also very, very important, not just for leaders of organizations, but employees of companies as well. If you can log in, because oftentimes we think when we have these occasions, it's for the leaders to go to, then they'll come back and tell us. But sometimes you want to hear it firsthand yourself. And so it's if you feel that this is important to you, and it truly is, when it comes to service delivery of excellent customer service, then you need also to log on from next week, Tuesday to the 14th. That's 11th to the 14th?
Yes, the committee meeting is from the 10th to the 13th, but the service excellence workshop is on the 11th, from
Right.
2 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Right, on the 11th. And so in logging on and logging in, you're really helping yourself, because in your improvement of your service delivery, you will see the benefits really deriving therefrom. And so I really want to commend you, the BNSI, for this. I think it is timely. I think it's important, and I know that over time you have to repeat it, because as humans will forget.
Yes.
And so we got to keep the skill sets sharp.
We're hoping the media is there as well. You do have a measure of service delivery, do you not?
He's putting me on the charge.
I'm just saying.
Of course we do.
Okay.
And we do that well, I believe, every day, do we not?
I have. We can discuss that after.
Fair enough. Question for you.
Sure.
If you woke up and discovered that you were invisible, what would you do?
That's a very difficult question, but I know what I want to do. I think I would want to be able to help people realize that they can do more than they think they can. So how do you go about doing that?
Yeah.
So maybe somebody is frustrated. We talked about mental health earlier. There's a particular task or activity they want to do, but they're not sure how to. If I'm invisible, maybe there's some support you can offer, just a little nudge to help them to be able to get over the hump, right?
I got
so
you.
that they can see, hey, well, I can get this due. So that's my concept.
And that is not you doing my exam for me.
No. No,
I'll
can't
come
do
into the room, take my pen, go, do the thing.
No, not like that.
Fair enough, fair enough. Fabian Scott, he's the acting deputy director of the Barbados National Standards Institution. I wish you well with the workshop and your meetings for all next week as well, and come back and report to us the successes.
Sure, we can do that. Thank you.
Brilliant, you're very welcome. Morning Barbados comes back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
My friend, you don't plan to get it. Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love crew.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affairs segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
16 minutes now to 7 o'clock as we turn our attention to talking HR with Hermab, and we want to share with you what we thought was a very interesting discussion held sometime earlier when we had on set with us Dr. Glenda Jilks. She is a transformation and change management specialist. She looked at the whole introduction of artificial intelligence and how that is impacting our workspaces and whether or not it brings benefits. So take a look at that and learn. Take a listen.
Now, before we delve into today's discussion, for those people who might not be sure, tell me what is the role of a transformation and change management specialist?
Okay, so change is small. It's a temporary fix. You want to change something in the department or product. It's a temporary measure. It's smaller. Transformation is as it sounds, is huge. It encompasses a very intense movement, change in an organization, transformation. So you see that with mergers and acquisitions where there are big things happening. So change is small and much more temporary. Transformation is major.
All right, let's talk now about how human resources management change is kind of working out in the advent of artificial intelligence.
Oh, yes.
So maybe these small changes that are becoming transformational based on artificial intelligence and the way that we collect, process, and share data.
Great. So, of course, AI is the latest buzzword. I've been in HR for a very long time, and I've heard different words over different times. So AI is the new buzzword, and really and truly is a complement to the HR function. I don't think that it's anything to be feared, but really is a tool to help you to generate data, for example. Data helps you to determine how you plan for the organization. So your manpower planning, looking at skills you need and so on, AI can help you with that. But there's always the human element in human resources. There's always people at the center of HR, and of course HR cuts across the organization. HR does not just reside in an office with two people, but every leader, every supervisor, every manager is responsible for human resource management. I think AI, as we just came off a very successful conference and speaking about AI and technology. But it was interesting to note that even with that and the replacement of people in some jobs, there's still the need for human beings. And the things that we do, the basic things that we do, recruitment, training, retooling, those are still critical elements. Even when you do a transformation and a change, if you're transforming an organization, it means you may need new skills, new people to do things, new jobs. So that recruitment is still needed, training is still needed. So in everything, people are still at the center, and we as leaders and supervisors have to be cognizant of that.
It's still needed, but the question is to what extent? Because even as we talk about the recruitment, for example, we know that there are many organizations now who go to the algorithms, who go to the programs and the AI that can immediately disqualify certain candidates based on a specific rubric or very specific things that they have written in to determine who will make that short list.
Yes.
So what changes will HR professionals have to make to ensure that they stay ahead of what's happening with AI and with these new systems that are coming on stream, so that even though people are involved, they might not be involved at the level and in the same kinds of ways that they have been in the past?
Yes. So of course, for example, with recruiting, you do need that shortlisting. We did that before. We shortlisted people before. We didn't have the algorithms, but we knew based on this job specification and job description who we wanted to hire for the position. So that has now become a more technologically driven initiative, but at the same time, there's that skill that the AI doesn't have, so that soft skill where I can lean into you and speak to specific issues. You may share something that happened at your last job, and I can probe and I can ask questions that AI can't. So that is still a critical element, because you don't want to disqualify persons simply because AI says this person is not suitable, because there's always more to the story. And you can probe and you can ask those questions relevant to the individual.
I think on the other side of that, that can be argued, because what we know about AI is that it is constantly developing, and there are many people who see the capabilities far beyond what we can see now in terms of AI, even taking on a mind of its own, so to speak, to be able to speak to very specific things. But again, the human element, as you mentioned, would have to be behind that, because minds will be driving it.
Yes.
Let's come home to Barbados. There are a lot of people who, and I know through your conference as well, who are thinking that a change towards AI might not be as swift as we might think, because of the limitations of SMEs, to be able to kind of lay out the amount of money they would need to bring some of these systems on stream. But from your perspective, what are your thoughts in terms of maybe displacement of employees across sectors when it comes to companies who are able to institute AI systems in a country like Barbados? What could be the possible displacement for HR departments, for staff complements, and workers generally?
I think this is where we need to look at the future. What is required, what skills are needed, because you will need someone to maintain the AI, computer techs, persons who are skilled in those particular areas. You will need those skills. So how do we train people up, retool them with the opportunity to embrace this new technology? It's not the enemy. Sometimes we're resistant to what we don't know. But if we can look at the future, what is it that we need to drive our departments and to work with our organizations and to help our organizations to be successful, then we can tailor our training programs and development programs. And those persons who may be displaced from this role can be placed in other roles and with the necessary skills.
Do you have any idea what is in place now? Because where we are now, I think, is a direct result of what was planned maybe 10, 15 years ago. So by extension, where we are in 10 to 15 years will be as a direct result of what we do now. How we're able to set up these training sessions, working with organizations like the University of the West Indies or Barbados Community College. So is there engagement with professionals like yourself who work in human resources for us to be able to develop educational and training programs that reflect what will be needed in future?
Yes, I think training has taken on a new persona, if I may say. So we are ensuring that our employees are geared up. And places like the University of the West Indies, we have NTI, we have Coursera, we have those initiatives where people can now go online, even access those courses, sometimes free of cost. It's at your fingertips. I think with technology, because it is there, you have the ability to research and to understand what is coming. And we have so many stories of persons who are using AI in a negative way as well. But you have to be cognizant of the benefits of AI and how it can be managed within the HR context. So people will always be there. I understand the need for the AI, but at the same time, people will always be there. And therefore, your managers, your leaders, your supervisors must be in tune with your employees and what is required.
How do we pony up the responsibility? I know you mentioned NTI, thousands of courses literally are at our fingertips, but there's not every employee who has that initiative, who will take that initiative to get online and kind of adapt. So what role does the employer have in, maybe pushing or urging their employees to level up, facilitating that retraining or retooling? And what percentage, if we can, does the employee have to ensure that they're really ready for new times?
I think it's 50-50. You must want to be in the know. You can't bury your head in the sand and think, okay, this is what I did 20 years ago, it's going to work for me now. You're forced into it every day. I just came back from overseas and I went to a restaurant, and I think the only human being I interacted with was there was someone in the back who was sending the food out. But I did my order by machine, I paid by machine, and the food came out by machine. So whether or not we want to accept it, change is here, change is constant, and we have to keep abreast of it. Organizations have a responsibility to keep their staff trained up as well. So you can invite people to come in, talk to your team members, give them some time, some incentive also for pursuing some of those programs. Make it part of their objectives for the year, for example, because that's the only way we can get people to prepare for what is to come or what is already here, and show them the benefits of AI as we know it.
What will happen to those companies that don't level up, that kind of stay stuck in their ways as we move forward, to your mind?
They'll be left behind. And so we have to be cognizant that if we don't move, then we will be moved. And therefore, every business, whether it be a small business or large enterprise, must be aware of what is happening out there and adapt. Be prepared to adapt, to change the way. This is where change management specialists come in, helping the organization to identify the areas that they can improve on. Every company wants to succeed and wants to be profitable. And therefore, if you want that, you have to be able to move towards providing skills and opportunities for your employees that they too can be successful, and in turn your organization will be successful.
All right, well, you know what they say about change?
Constant.
It's the only constant.
Constant.
I want to thank you so much for coming in. Glenda Jilts is a transformation and change management specialist. Today we took a look at how human resources management change has to change in line with what's happening with artificial intelligence and technology generally. Thanks again for sharing with us.
Thank you so much.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love cruise.
When you love morning, morning, morning. Good morning.
of inspiration, celebration, soulful praise, and uplifting messages that will refresh your soul and fill your heart with joy. Q Gospel, Sunday at 4 p.m. on Quality 100.7 FM radio, bringing you closer to the music, the message, and the ministry.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
You know, Wednesday truly has to be the loss of voice day. Apologies to you for that. That's my fault. My fault. It's 7 o'clock. Let's take a look at some news now. The Ministry of Labour is en route to having the International Labour Organization's Nursing Convention ratified. This was revealed by Minister Colin Jordan during a ceremony to commemorate the work of the founder of the Barbados Cancer Society, Dr. Dorothy Cook Johnson. The activity formed a part of the St. Peter Activities for Regathering 2025.
We've also started discussions with the Barbados Workers Union on the matter of the care economy. And the care economy, even though it has the word economy, speaks to the entire ecosystem that provides care for people. Babies, elderly people, but care for people who are ill as well. And we know that there is quite a lot of care, palliative care, that has to be provided to persons who are afflicted in the latter stages with cancer.
Well, Barbados Prime Minister Mia Amar Motley suggests the world is living in a time of profound uncertainty. She says deep inequalities still exist, a situation she notes wasn't expected 20 years ago. Ms. Motley's remarks came in the video address to the Jamaica Music Museum's Heritage Series, Ground Nation.
In Ukraine, in Gaza, in Sudan, in Haiti, so many innocent people caught up in the grip of violence. And we cite the number of deaths as if we were counting peas. All of this, my friends, while the world still adjusts in the aftermath of a pandemic that truly tested our resilience, that stole in many instances our loved ones, and that exposed, yes, for sure, the deep inequalities that still plague our world. It also allowed that power to be able to dominate and bullying to be able to dominate. My friends, COVID-19 was more than just a health crisis. It was.
Government is assuring there will be no staff cuts as it gives the date for the merger of three of its energy companies. The Barbados National Oil Company Limited, the Barbados National Terminal Company Limited, and the National Petroleum Company will become one from the 1st of April. Anesta Henry tells us the announcement came from the Minister of Energy and Business Development, Senator Lisa Cummins.
There's an assurance no jobs will be lost when the state-owned fossil fuel production and distribution firms are merged. Minister of Energy and Business Development, Senator Lisa Cummins, says the move, part of government's renewable energy push, has been long in coming. She made the announcement at the Barbados Chamber of Commerce 3rd Green Expo.
It's in the final stages of being completed, and what we did when we started the process was to look at the skills that exist on both sides of the company. So we have a low staff count at BNTCL, so there's nothing there really to worry about at all. There's nothing to worry about overall, to be frank, but MPC and BNOL, we now know where there are overlapping skills. We have a sharing agreement between the two entities so that where there are skills that are missing or in deficit in one entity, we're able to draw on the others. But I think the most important message here is that this is a government that has not sought to send people home from work.
Senator Cummins has also announced major developments in the renewable energy sector. She says the Electricity Supply Act passed last year is about to be proclaimed, regulating the generation, storage, transmission, distribution, dispatch, supply and sale of electricity, and promote local participation. And at this time, efforts are underway to procure energy storage systems that can store up to 150 megawatts by year end.
If we were to procure 100% of the energy systems, battery energy storage systems that we need now, and you have not yet started your construction of solar, it means that we will start with excess capacity, and with it, it will have an impact on the cost of electricity. And so we are at this time matching your construction of solar projects, which we estimate per project based on size between 6 to 9 months, with the procurement of battery energy storage systems.
Senator Cummins adds officials now have a better understanding of the island's energy grid after the completion of a study over the past year. And she says the Enhanced Credit Guaranteed Fund, which falls under the Central Bank of Barbados, will now be a game changer for independent power producers.
In the event that the utility experiences a force majeure event, that the independent power producers can access those monies for a period of 3 months once the utility is unable to pay them. And once the utility is then able to pay them, then the utility tops back up the facility so it becomes a revolving facility.
Ms. Cummins' comments come as Barbados prepares to host the Sustainable Energy for All Global Forum next month. Anesta Henry, CBC News.
7 artists are among the first cohort to benefit from the $1 million Jackie Opal Legacy Lab residency. It embraces musicians, dancers, visual artists to celebrate, innovate, and educate through the power of art. Those selected are Glenn Rice, Sunrock, Keisha Dowridge, Safia Stout, Jomo Slusher, Alika Hines, and Starlight Talma. Minister in the Prime Minister's office with responsibility for culture, Senator Dr. Chantal Monroe-Knight, wants participants to be bold in their creative efforts, as a lab is a space for experimentation.
Experience. So if we want to be able to build a sector that is resilient, it means that we are going to have to change the way in which we make the investments, in which we view the sector, in which perhaps we're not always able to support small initiatives, but we're going to have to do big and risky initiatives in order to propel. If we are going to create the next Rihanna's and the next Chantal's, it can be by supporting every small, and I apologize, every small initiative, but we're going to have to put some big resources and make some big steps in order to catapult. And that is exactly what we are intending to deliver in 2025.
Executive Officer of the NCF, Carol Roberts-Reefer, believes in the artists' capabilities.
All they want is an opportunity, and that's what this residency lab gives. When you were growing up with Jackie, and he was wooing his girlfriend at the time and saying, yes, you know, he wants to be a star. He had no idea where that was going to take him. Neither do they. But the world was his then, and the world is theirs now. And all we have to do is support and celebrate.
Of course, now Barbados Pride and West Indies Academy will be searching for their first victories of the 2025 Cricket West Indies Regional 4-Day competition starting today. The two teams will battle at Kensington Oval in round 2. Having followed defeats to Garland Harpy Eagles and Leeward Islands Hurricanes. Anmar Goodrich Boyce reports on the Pride's final preparations ahead of today's match.
The Barbados Pride team is back on home soil ahead of the second round of the Cricket West Indies Regional 4-Day first-class season. And after last week's crushing defeat to the Guyana Harpy Eagles, the Pride will be hoping to turn around their fortunes at the Kensington Oval in a pink ball day and night match. Barbados is boosted by the return of West Indies captain Craig Braffett, who brings a wealth of experience and strength to the batting lineup, as the Pride is hoping to bounce back with a win over the West Indies Academy. Braffett recently led the Windies to a famous test win in Pakistan and believes the current Pride team is full of potential but must trust in its plan. He says the hardest part of the match for batting will be navigating the pink ball.
I mean, the biggest challenge is obviously starting under the lights with the new ball. I think, you know, before that period starts and your bat is a lot easier. So that's one is pretty much just opening up your eyes and expecting, you know, for a shiny pink ball to be coming on a good length early on. I mean, that's the biggest challenge because obviously it's normally daytime with a red ball. So other than that, I mean, the ball moving around is almost normal to first class cricket. I think the guys are pretty much accustomed to that. But it's just with the pink ball at night, starting at night, is important to, you know, make sure you're on it from ball one.
Coach Vaspert Drake says the team is focused on capturing a first victory of this season.
Really looking forward to this game, playing on Barbados soil. Also happy to have the captain Craig Braffett back in the side and leading from the front, and also happy to have Jermaine Warwick part of the group. So disappointing from the last game. So we're just going to take the learning out of the situation and definitely you would see a improvement because guys understand what it takes to not only to represent Barbados but what it takes to win competition. So
Besides Bradford and Jamal Warwick, the Pride has added bowlers Jamar Eiffel and Shakil Kamabach to the squad. And more Goodrich boys. CBC Sports.
That's news until now. More news at 12 noon right here on CBC TV8. Morning Barbados continues in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love cruise.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
So good in a party yet. You know why?
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
What you saw there is what we're talking about now, as we're joined on set by the man himself, the man behind Amar Empowerment, the director, Ambrose Carter. Ambrose, good morning.
Good morning to you, Pearson.
And you brought along your colleagues here
Yes.
Pastor Calden Charles and Madam Charles, Monique Charles.
Yes,
good morning to all of you indeed.
Good morning.
And so when we think of a red carpet event, we think of something really special, Ambrose. Is that what we can expect?
That is what you can expect, Pearson. We are celebrating youth. It is a family affair. We have the red carpet, we have the limousines, we have the paparazzi. You know, it is laid out. It is going truly to be an evening really where we say to young people that by nature of being young, you are very important persons. So at Amar, as you know, Pearson, what we do is empower individuals and their families, especially the youth, to live lives of moral excellence and sexual purity.
So with the limo and red carpet, we're going to dress up?
Yes.
Is it a dress-up affair?
It's a dress-up affair. We say to dress elegant. You don't have to go to a shop and buy new things. Dress in your best, unless you have to.
Yes.
But you dress in your best and come on down.
And I think for me that's biblical as well. You know, when you're presenting yourself to God, bring your best.
Bring your best.
And that I think is what this event is also seeking to achieve.
That is correct. You know, we're focusing on peace and purity. Pearson, we had a prose writing competition. So you will be hearing from the young winners, those in secondary and secondary schools, and also those juniors, the under 12s, and then the 13 to 18. And what you will hear from them, the two winners, basically, is because the competition looked at what would you do if you had to live a life of peace and purity. So we were looking at living a lifestyle of moral excellence, sexual purity, and a lifestyle of peace. So you'll be hearing from the young people.
Wow, this is going to be outstanding.
It will
When
be.
is it and where is it?
The 7th of February at the...
That's Friday.
Friday. This Friday, you know, day after tomorrow.
Correct. Not to get confused. It's
Yes.
Friday, this Friday coming,
This
day after
Friday.
tomorrow.
Yes.
At the Column Church of the Nazarene.
Yes.
What time does it start?
7 o'clock. Doors open at 6. So
Do I pay?
no, it is free.
Okay,
Absolutely free.
Good. So it's free. Dress up. Come walk the red carpet.
Yes.
Meet the paparazzi. Meet some other folks
Yes.
who have the same purpose as yourself.
Of course. And not only that, we're inviting, of course, the minister will be there. We have Gazi coming over. We have Nisha. But we also have a guest speaker from Turks and Caicos. And we also have, and this guest speaker, Pearson, was addicted to pornography while as a young pastor. And we also have someone who was involved in a life of crime as well, Jason Morgan. So you'll come and hear from these individuals who share their life stories with you and encourage you or tell you how God changed their life. So that's what it's all about, is an evening of hope as well.
And I'm glad you said it this way because I want those of you who are gypsy to turn up. I hope it transforms you. That's why we have here a pastor who was addicted to the porn. We got to go and hear that. You know, so those kinds of things, it draws you in, but I'm hoping that while they're there, that God plants that seed for the change that we all want to achieve through
That
this.
is what it's all about. Because, you know, sometimes you hear about moral excellence and sexual purity, somebody that was a virgin when they got married and remained, and you think, oh, we don't have anything to do with those other people. But no, we all sinners. You know, we all have flaws, we all imperfect. So at my Empowerment Network and the Pure Sex Center, we embrace all. We don't leave anyone out. So therefore, we want individuals to know that, you know what? God is for all of us. So come and hear from these individuals.
It's possible, in other words.
It's possible.
And so you, Pastor Charles, you're going to be your guest speaker.
That's correct.
What are you talking about?
So I'm going to be doing a deep dive into my life story. And the reason I want to go into my life story, there's a dark path. And let me use a strong word, a diabolic path, as it relates to a 10 plus years of addiction to pornography.
Is you?
Yep.
Sorry.
Yep.
Sorry.
That's me right here. That's me right
Yes,
here.
you. Okay, go ahead. I'm listening to you.
Yeah.
Put down the papers.
Yeah. So it's diving into that and to share with people, one, almost lost my marriage, right? Two, the life of deception. So being a youth pastor and preaching Sundays, but engaging in the act of pornography during the week. That's deception. A lie that I believe that it was okay. I'm not hurting anybody. This is just me in the privacy of my own home, not realizing that pornography thrives in secrecy. And this is why it's part of what we call the AAA engine. In other words, it is accessible, it's free, affordable, and anonymous. So if somebody's really sick, you could see the symptoms maybe on their face, but you can't tell physically when somebody is addicted to pornography because it's a heart issue.
So, Madam Wife, you're also guest speaking. Do you mind me asking you this question? How did you know?
I didn't know.
So he told you?
Yes.
Wow, that took a big man.
Yeah, but I struggled with that because I didn't want to lose my marriage. And because I've seen my wife as a person who loves the Lord and is so committed, it's like me coming out and sharing this, it's going to be devastating for the marriage. But not only that, self-preservation. I had this image that if I come out like pastor, youth pastor, struggling with porn, being addicted, like, what's wrong? So I was trying to preserve that image, all packaged in deception, because John 8 talks about the devil as the father of lies. So here I was believing in those lies and not recognizing it for what it is.
So Monique, what are you going to be talking about? Are you going to be the sequel to him, where he does his presentation and then you said, no, from the wife's perspective, blah, blah, blah? Or do you have a specific focus for your presentation as a guest speaker?
I am going to be his support and confidence, knowing that what he went through, and God has given me the strength to say, I am going to stick by your side, no matter what. We are going to get help together. And I said together, not him alone, coming alongside. God has created me, Monique Charles, Cassandra Taylor Charles, to be a helpmate to my husband, Calden Charles. And I want wives to know that if their husband is struggling with pornography, vice versa, because there are some women who do struggle with pornography as well, is to be patient, seek the Lord, and see what the Lord is leading you to do in that situation. Because sometimes it is easy to say, I don't want to be a part of this. But when Calden told me that he was struggling with pornography, right? Well, first of all, he came and he said, I want out of this marriage, right? And I was listening to him. I was sleeping, but he will go into this. I don't want to go into too much of detail now. But I was sleeping, and he came by the bedside and he tapped on my shoulder. And whatever was going through his mind, he said, Monique, I'm struggling with this thing, and I don't think I can get out of this thing, and I want out of this marriage. Go and look for a better husband.
Wow. And so on Friday, you could hear what happens next.
Yes.
In other words, take a pause, a commercial break at that point. So the story continues on Friday, ladies and gentlemen. Friday at the Church of the Nazarene at Cullimore Rock. And that's where you're hosting the VIP red carpet special.
Yes.
We want everyone to get all dressed up in their finery.
Yes.
From 7, you said?
Yes, it starts at 7.
And doors open at 6.
Doors open at 6.
It's absolutely free. It's targeted young people, but it's targeting the family. Because young people are a part of a family.
Yes.
And so we want mommy, daddy, uncle, cousin, everyone to come and really learn and hear from and hear those messages of inspiration, because it can be overcome. It's not impossible to overcome it. But you need someone. And that someone we know is God. So that's what Ambrose and Amar Empowerment is teaching. So it is possible. So let's do this. So for anyone who wants to ask any further questions, Amar, very quickly, remind them how to contact you.
436-7873.
436-7873.
Yes, I hope I got that right.
Well, I hope you did too. I questioned myself.
Amar Empowerment, yes.
Right,
and that is, you can telephone or WhatsApp that number.
Okay, great. Some guest performances will be there as well. My girl Nisha Woods is going to be there.
Of course.
But we'd love to see as many of you as possible. It's a big church. It's a big space. It can accommodate as many. But if you can't get a seat inside, stand at the door. Don't miss this. Don't miss this. Thank you so much, all of you.
You're welcome.
And good to meet you, Charles. I want to hear the continuation of the story and so much more. All the best to you indeed.
Thanks a lot.
Question quickly before we go. If you woke up and found you were invisible, what would you do first?
I've been thinking about this. I do not know. After waking up, I would look for me, for sure.
Whereby? What about you, Calvin?
Yeah, it would be an opportunity to travel the world and not pay an airfare.
I love it. What about you, Monique?
Boy, I'm thinking, is this the rapture?
I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you for playing along with me as well. We're coming back right after this.
Yes.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it. Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love cruise.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We're 27 minutes now after 7 o'clock. I am so excited about this because we are connecting once again with what I think is one of the most creative people on the earth, and they live in Barbados, as a matter of fact. Monique McKay.
Yes.
She is a stylist. She's the founder of Interior Avenue. She's a great person to interact with as well. Monique, good morning.
Thank you. Good morning, Pearson. Nice to see you.
I'm glad that you've accepted our invitation to do this series with us because
Thank
we
you
want
for
to
having
share
me.
tips with people.
Absolutely.
And so today, I want to look at powerful ways to elevate one's house.
Yes, we
and
are.
mental distress as well. Mental distress.
Man, we all need to hear a bit of this. As a matter of fact, I brought my iPad just to make sure I don't forget anything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So how do we start?
So what we're going to start with is hidden connections to stress.
Right.
The stressors that you're thinking, why are my shoulders hurting? Believe it or not, clutter can stress you out in that sense because the scientists say that it affects your brain, your body in ways like frequent headaches, tension in the shoulders. And that's because you just have a mess around you that you're unfortunately may not be able to get to. Maybe you've got to run out the door to the kids or get to work because the traffic can be so horrendous. But really your body can start to show signs of that stress.
All because I'm messy?
Yes, absolutely, all because of
And
messy.
I mean, we have an image on it and showing the kitchen, just not a kitchen sink.
Yes.
If we, you know,
yes, you know it has to get done. You can't get to it. You're thinking,
Yes, that looks like my kitchen sink. So
that's a lot of
things like
people
that,
think.
yeah, but things like that would cause me to stress a bit because you want to get to it. You know you don't have a lot of time to get to it, but it's irritating you.
So then you start to carry the stress in your body.
Yeah.
You start to not be able to sleep. Even after a full night's sleep, you wake up tired because you were restless. You know you have some stuff to do. Difficulty concentrating, mental fatigue. These things show.
Wash up.
Wash up.
Is it as simple as that?
The simple thing is it brings a calmer space. So when you look around and there's nothing in that sink,
that is true. I was watching something online the other day and it said, you know, the feeling one gets when you've just fixed everything, cleaned out, and it looks so perfect. You just stand at the door and you look inside and you go like, wow.
I want to be in there, right?
I want to be in there, but I don't want to mess it up.
Exactly.
And that's what we're talking about, how we elevate the space, but we also distress ourselves.
Absolutely.
So we look for those areas of clutter and declutter.
So I have a trick. Give it a 5-second rule. If your front door, your table by your front door is full of keys and mail and plants and things you have to drop off, 5 seconds. Do I need this? No. I'm going to put it to the side. 5 seconds. Do I use this? No, I don't know why this is sitting here. Put it to the side. All of a sudden, clutter starts to go away.
But you know what we do? We have space, so I'm going to put something else in. That's what we do.
That's the habits
But
we
it's
have
the
to break. We have to break them.
Monica, in my mind.
We have to break them because that will reduce the stress. Coming home all of a sudden, you open the door. I'm so happy to be home.
Yes.
It's not, oh goodness, I have a million things to do. I have to clean up so many things. Just do a little bit at a time. The surfaces. Start with that and that 5-second rule. It will help. It will help. It's a step in the right direction.
Okay, so those are the areas with the surfaces. In the bedroom, I'm going there for a second.
Oh boy. Oh,
because
nightstand.
Thank you so much. The nightstand, what we tend also to do is to just, especially when you have the additional room, toss everything on the bed.
Yes.
And it's right there, but it annoys you because you know you need either to fold it or to hang it up.
You know you need to fold it.
But you're not going in there because that's too much work.
It's too much work. But I mean, if you start to attack it a little bit every day, a little bit makes a huge difference. Sooner or later, the beds will be clear, the nightstands will be clear, and that's a space you're going to want to be in. Your brain will mentally, it will process it. And your stress will start. I carry stress in my shoulders. Right. So if you're starting to tense up, look around. Is there something obstructing, something overloading, something you keep promising to get to?
So there we are with the bed. And what we also do on the bed, you see the little laptop?
Yes, we work.
We do that. We work from the bed.
We work from the bed.
Watch from the bed. We do everything on the bed. But those, to my mind, those devices can also create a space that is comfortable, uncomfortable.
It can be. And you know what? That actually leads up to my second point. Blocked energy flow. Blocked energy flow can come from badly placed furniture. If, say, for example, you place a chair in front of a doorway, but your intention is to walk around it.
Right.
Sometimes when you're in that room, you can feel blocked in. Like, I am held hostage. Like, I am unable to go. And it can create a panic in the system.
I know what you mean. I cannot stand closed doors. So in the house, do not close the doors, please. I understand. If you need your privacy, fine.
Correct.
But open the doors. I cannot
it gives flow.
Correct.
You're talking my language. It gives flow. And furniture can do that to you as well. So large, like furniture that's too large in a space can also make you feel blocked in, suppressed. And then that takes place, creates mental frustration.
So what do? I just move it? I just shift it to somewhere else?
You could shift it to somewhere else. Let's see what I have here. Clear your pathways. Sometimes too much square edges in one room doesn't give you the vision of flow. When you have all these square rectangle couches, throw in a circular coffee table. See how you feel about that. You'll feel progress. You'll feel openness. You feel no blockage.
I have never thought of that, Monique, honestly.
Your system will thank
Love
you.
you for it. So that's an idea. I think a lot of our viewers are also probably thinking, but we've never thought of it. I shared with Monique before we started to talk on air about me being a minimalist, and so you have lots of floor space.
I love it.
But you tend to ring the circumference with furniture.
Which you don't have to do because it can actually put a stop to communication within who is sitting in the room. Because it seems so far. Oh, he's all the way over there. But if you bring in that furniture, make it more of a conversation, all of a sudden,
Yes. Create those little cozy spaces.
Correct.
Because I know we were just showing a video just now where there was a little nook, a little corner.
Yes.
Where you can just have those little things to have a difference to what you're doing.
It is so important for busy professionals, busy moms, busy dads, busy kids who have too much activities to find a cozy nook that symbolizes peace. It symbolizes a space. The science says the brain, it looks for a safe space to de-stress. So if your house signals relaxation, it's a place you want to go. Maybe you don't have a big space. Maybe you live in a studio apartment. Find a chair that symbolizes peace, stress, fluent positioning of their furniture, not too much in the space, everything that we've described here today. If there's a surface you can clear in your cozy space, it will signal the brain to relax at that point.
And for me, next an open window.
Oh,
because I love the floor fresh breeze.
Me too.
Morning, stop coming into my head. You know,
an open window, especially in Barbados. Open your windows. Open your windows. Let the breeze hit you. Let this vitamin D from the sun hit you. Those things can actually make a difference in your life because do you know that we can clench our jaw when we don't get a chance to de-stress? Yes, you can find yourself like, oh, my jaw. I'm sitting here with my jaw clenched because I have not had a chance to de-stress all day. I've had work, I've had the kids, I've had the traffic, and now I'm sitting in the doctor's office tight, tight. And those things will cause tension headaches, fatigue, stress in your shoulders, the ability to feel like you are overwhelmed. So having a place of peace, whether you have a 5-bedroom house or a small studio, it's just about having a corner. The cozy nook that we showed here, it gives you a sense of relaxation. It helps your mental health. And that's what we're talking about today.
At least have one space in the house. Where
At
you can
least have one.
And you know, I know my sisters tend to spend a lot of time fixing up the bath, having all these pretty bathrooms. I'm thinking, why are you doing all of that? It's just a bathroom.
No,
and then they go to the bedrooms and, you know, have all these lovely spreads and so forth.
Oh, beautiful.
And while I might think that that's just a lot of work, it's important.
It's important. You know, I make my bed every morning.
You're a good girl.
Every single morning.
You are a good girl.
Not only is cleanliness next to godliness.
That's what we've been taught.
That's what we've been taught. But it's an accomplishment for the day.
Yeah.
If you get up and you say, you know what, I've done this, then you're ready for the next task and the next task. And all of a sudden you feel productive. You feel stress-free. I'm hitting these goals. Start with something small, just like your surfaces. If you start with something small, put it away. Do I need it? Can I donate this? A lot of people need things. Can I donate this to someone who's in need? Can I change it to another room? These things will help you not feel like, oh, I bought all these things, I have no money. Just clean the clutter. Find a nice nook, a cozy space that you can relax, retreat to.
How important is color to all of this?
Oh man, color really makes more of a difference than people are aware of. There's certain colors I've seen in homes that actually bring on anxiety. But your blues, your greens, your natural tones, soft pastel colors can de-stress you. Even a home all painted white can make you feel spa-like.
Right.
You know, so it does play a big role in how we carry stress, anxiety. What are we physically displaying that we're not even aware of because the color or the clutter or the no sense of relaxation. Yeah, these things matter.
Girl, you have me thinking, I've been doing so many things so wrong.
Well, it's time to change. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is power.
Absolutely. So I now have to think carefully when I go home, what I'm going to clear, the spaces I need to clear and the surfaces I need to sort out. I'm not promising I'll be fixing the bed every morning. I cannot promise you that.
I think you can do it.
Okay, I'll try it.
At least a nightstand. That's a starter.
I hear you. I will try that. The kitchen sink, you know, that's also a place for you to declutter your mind, de-stress yourself.
This is what we're talking about, the Wellness Wednesday. It's about your health. Yes, there's dishes in the sink, but what is it doing to your mental stability? Do you take that tension to work? Do you take that tension to the kids? Do you take that tension to your physical activities that you're out doing afterwards? We do have to stop and think because sometimes those are the suppressors, the depressors.
You're quite right.
Yeah.
You know, we have those pesky millipedes.
Oh.
Good. So they tend, I think, to come to my patio.
Yes.
Oh my word, and then they die there.
Oh boy.
So I said, let me see how long it'll go without clearing this up.
Oh.
What it got to be money, it just got under my skin.
You see?
So, but it made a world of difference once I swept them all
Oh
away.
my goodness, it makes a difference.
And that's what we're talking about.
Little changes make a big difference. And I'm telling you, sometimes we are unconscious of the way we're carrying those stresses throughout the day.
But it takes a conscious effort to make the change.
It definitely takes a conscious effort. You have to want to feel relaxed. You have to want to feel happy. You have to want to feel flow and happy in your space. Our home should be our haven. Our workspace can be our haven, believe it or not.
How do you know it's coming to that next? Because again, I mean, one, a couple of things.
Yes.
The environment in the office.
Correct.
In my office, it is biting cold.
Oh, I know.
So I know that when my colleagues come to the door, they go, oh, why do you have it here so cold? But mine is central air. It's not, I don't have a unit.
Okay.
It's just central air. I take what it is.
Okay.
So I accept that. That's one. So that environment could be a deterrent. It could be uncomfortable for some. So if you just have to have the right temperature.
Have the right
so I'm looking
temperature.
from the temperature point of view.
Correct.
Then the layout of the office is also critical.
Oh, let it have flow. Let it have flow. Don't have to bump your toe every time you want to get to your chair.
Yes.
The other thing is clear the files you're not using off your desk.
Correct. Because that's the other thing I do. I do. This,
Yeah.
now,
Oh,
this I do in my office.
Do you?
A whole is a different matter.
I'm going to check.
Because by the end of the day, I want to leave a clear desk.
You should. And it gives your
does.
brain a mental sense of accomplishment.
It really, really does.
You feel like I had a good day. When you're leaving the office and you're flicking off the light and you look back and there's a million things on the desk, you're like, what did I do?
Yeah.
And you may take that out on yourself.
They'll tell you in here as well. I get a little, I would leave the office to go to somewhere else in the building, and when I walk back, someone has placed a file on my desk. I'm like, don't do
Another
that.
one. No.
Don't do that. Wait until I come back and give it to me. Because to walk back into the office and see work waiting on me,
Yes.
it can change your emotions.
It can.
And while I'm revealing me, I'm sure a number of you are thinking like me as well. And so don't use my example to be your example. Think for yourself of those things that trigger those negative emotions in yourself.
Like the dishes.
And then do, yes.
You walk back and you see the dishes.
And the bed. You know, think of those things.
Think of those things.
And when you think of them, plan. Have a plan. Have a plan, a conscious effort from today that you will do something about it. And that's what we're talking about here.
This is what we're talking about. And the cue for me is put yourself first. We have so much to do for everyone else. Let's put our mental health in check first, and then we can help the masses. Almost like when you're on the plane. Put your mask on first, and then help the rest. They say even before your child, put your mask on first, and then help others. Check your mental health. Clean your spaces. When I make my bed and I go back after when I make my bed first thing in the morning, and I return in the evening, it's like a magazine, and I'm like, yes, I deserve this. I deserve this because it's been a long day, and the bedroom is welcoming.
Yes,
it's clicks. You're going to relax here.
Yes,
it's comfortable,
and that's important. That's really good. And this is just the start, folks. This is just the start. It's a series we're running with Monique, man. We're really extracting from her all that she has that we can all learn from. Yes. And we're going to take it out from you. And so Monique will be back in a couple of weeks to share even more about how we can use we can distress, basically, how we can use the spaces we have to elevate the way we feel about the spaces and about ourselves as well.
That's right.
So whether it be large or small, Monique can make it happen for you. She can change it around for you.
Absolutely.
And that's the beauty of what she can do. She's a master stylist indeed. Monique McKay, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, Mornin Barbados. We'll see you again.
I hope the voice is back by then.
Oh my goodness, I know. You did great.
Thank you.
Did great. I can hear you.
My question of the day. If you woke up and discovered you were invisible, what would you do first?
Oh my goodness, this is a good one. I'm not sure. I'm not used to being invisible.
I said to them,
that's a good one.
You know Nadia?
Yes.
I would wait patiently until she's very calm, and then I would sneak up and tickle the life out of her and have her totally confused because she can't see who it is. Tickle her. So
mental stress.
There you go. I would feel good about it.
You would feel good about
she does
taking care of yourself.
So I transferred my mental stress.
You stopped me on that one. I may have to figure that one out.
That's all right. That's all right. But good to see you yet again.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Mornin Barbados continues in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
14 minutes now to go to 8 o'clock. We meet an author of two outstanding children's books, and maybe it's a series in the making, I don't know, but we'll delve into her mind now to find out a little bit more about what's driving her to create these Bajan the Sea Crab series. I'm talking about Ann O'D Maxwell. That's right,
yes,
I was going to think Beverly for a second.
Yes.
And I said to her, her face is familiar because I know your sister.
Yes, I know you know my sister.
Yeah, so it's good to see you. Welcome to Mornin Barbados.
Thank you for having me.
And so you've decided to write. What led you to taking the pen up to pen a book as opposed to just simply a letter?
Okay, all right. Well, basically, for over 20 years or so, I've been dealing with children, and I realized how they like you to read stories to them. And sometimes I would just make up a story and tell them little things, and they would be fascinated by what I'm talking about. So in the last 5-6 years, I decided, okay, let me start to write a book. And I wrote some this time and another time, and then I put it together, and I also sent it to my same sister that you know.
Yes.
And she said, Donna, this is fantastic. Did you write this all by yourself? I said, yes, I did. And from there, then I got the confidence then to decide to actually go forward to publish it. So I was looking for somebody local, but I didn't find anything. So then I went to Amazon, and I actually published it on Amazon in 2023. So
here you have two. These are two little babies, but you're talking about Bajan the Sea Crab.
Bajan the Sea Crab, yes.
I love the spelling, first of all, of Bajan.
Yes.
Is there a method to that madness?
Of course. We are Bajan, and I
Yes.
wanted it to be able to relate to the children in Barbados. So at first I had Beijing, but then I said that sounded like Beijing in China, so I changed it to Bajan.
Yes.
And and that fascinates them as well, because like I said, I read it to them even before then. I published it as well, and I realized they actually liked the novel. So what I did then is try to make it tropical, because you know, we want something that relates to the children in Barbados, and that's why there's the sea crab, and then there's a turtle. That's her friend, or one of their friends, and the second one, then I introduced the CEO into it.
Is this a series you're creating?
At least, well, I have another one written already, which I was actually going to put into the second book. So maybe a series of maybe two more, maybe about five books in this particular series.
The writing is pitched at what age that you're writing to?
Basically from 4 to 8, okay? I have some 8-year-olds that also do read it and they enjoy it. So I gauge it between 4 and 8 because the children have different levels of ability to read. Some children at 4 can read extremely well, and then some at 8 are struggling. So it's pitched somewhere in between the two. between that age
So
range.
as we turn the pages, are we going to hear the voices of the characters, the crab, the eel, the turtle, all of those things?
Yes.
So not giving away the whole plot in the first book, Bejan the sea crab.
Right.
What is it saying and what is he doing?
Okay, well...
And I call it he. I could be wrong.
Well, actually, it's a she. Most people
Okay.
think, okay, it's a he.
Yes.
That was one of the questions that my family asked me because they've been extremely supportive of me on this project. Why is it not a he? But I don't know. For some reason, I call it Bejan is a she, a female. And the first story in this, because this has 3 stories, the first one, I introduce who Bejan is, you know, has 2 homes, lives in the sea, and also on a beautiful island in Barbados. And then the second story is about all of the others going back to the sea, and she's left alone on the beach, scurrying up and down, and then talking to someone, which we call the echo, and not knowing who this echo is.
Right.
And then later on then, when all the other crabs come back, her friend Tara, which is a purple crab, she introduced her to this echo. So they're trying to figure out who this echo is, and that this one ends. And then this one starts out where the mystery is the mystery of the echo. So then they try to discover what the voice is in the rock.
To plot something like that takes a very crafty mind, I think. Because you must be able to see the end, and at the same time you're also seeing the steps along to meet that end. How do you orchestrate your mind in such a way that it stays true to character one, and that you can tell the story in such an entertaining way that you want to turn to see what's in the next page?
I think a lot of it stems from my childhood and the play environment that I was raised in, and then my connection to children and how their minds work, because they're always excited to learn new things, and once you engage them in the story, then they always want to know more. So the way I go about it is you create a scenario and then you build up, and then they want to know more, so you keep wanting them to hear more of the story.
But that puts pressure on you.
Not really, I enjoy it actually.
But
I enjoy it because it's exciting to see how excited they are, and then I become excited because I become very excited.
But discovering new characters as you expand on the series as well, because you're basically staying with sea creatures.
Yes.
So
for this one, yes.
For this series. So finding the next character, now you've introduced the eel in the mystery of the echo.
Right.
And I'm supposing then you introduce another sea creature.
Yes.
See,
Yes, I'm not giving away who that creature is, because even when I did the first book, because I did some presentations at schools, and I would ask them, plus I'm getting information from them, who do they think the echo is?
Yes.
And they gave me all kinds of different animals and sea creatures. Some said humans.
Wow, wow.
Okay, so creating it is also my feedback from them as to how they see the story. Some people ask me, why is the other crab purple? You know, and so you feed off of their excitement and their interest in it, and then that helps you to create the next character.
Yeah. But it also, to my mind, gives children an appreciation for what happens under the surface of the water.
Yes.
So they get to know what roles each of those particular characters play, and how they benefit us as the humans above the surface of the water.
Yeah.
You talked about being able to publish it.
Yes.
Where is it? Where can we find it in the first place? These books.
Well, right now it is on Amazon. Okay. Majority of the marketplace is in Amazon, depending on where you are in the world.
Right.
UK, Canada. Well, those are the main ones we use, and America. And I'm trying to get it into some of the stores here in Barbados. Right now, I have some copies that I sell. Once people get to know about it, then they call me and ask me for a copy. So I'm trying to get into Bryden's. I haven't met actually with the lady as yet. I went to meet her, but I haven't met her as yet.
Yes.
So sometimes there are lots of authors, I'm sure, but the challenge is actually getting it into market. Okay. I know we look at, I was listening to your earlier, one of the earlier presenters about AI. Okay, we see people online every day saying, "Oh, I publish a book in a minute. I publish a book," because it's easy with AI, and the challenge that you have there, then you lose the creativity of the actual author itself, because it's an engineer type of thing that's being done. And for me, I prefer to stick to my authentication, in that I am the person that's creating the story, and not, getting a system to actually write my story for me, because then I know that I can relate to it, and I feel proud that I've actually done it for myself.
I know, I'm proud of you too for actually having done it that way. You said that people can call and get copies. What number?
Yes.
How can they reach you?
They can call me at 236-3358.
236-3358.
Yes.
236-3358. You see her name on the screen, Anne O.D. Maxwell. That's it. Maxwell.
Maxwell, yes, that's
That
correct.
is the author person. Watch your head. And so that's it. You can also find it on Amazon.
Yes.
So that's one number. You're going to give me another method to contact you?
Basically, either online or WhatsApp.
Okay,
That would be the best way to contact me.
And I really hope that children and parents, you do access these books as well. They make great reading, and it's good to expand the imagination of the children as well, because in expanding that imagination, it shows them the possibilities, and it also drops in lots of learning.
Yes,
I think that is so fantastic what you're doing for young children as well in Barbados. So I wish you well, Anne, and in all of your future endeavors. When the other two books are ready for release, let us know.
I will.
We'll talk it up for you as well, and you know to whom to remember for me, right?
Yes, I will.
Good.
Yes, I will.
So Anne, if you woke up and found you were invisible, what would you do first? Let me hear the creator in you. Let me hear
see.
it.
If I was invisible, I presume that will give me the opportunity to just sit and write all day. So I'll be able to get the
without
other
interruption.
2 books, yes, the other 2 books just done without, like you said, any interruptions. So that would be fantastic.
Oh, you wish. I love it. Thank you so very much.
Thank you so
All
much
the best
for having
to you.
me.
You're
All right,
welcome.
thank
You're
you.
welcome. All right. We're coming back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love cruise.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. It's a different feeling altogether.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
While you go about your business,
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
So we're 2 minutes now to go to 8 o'clock. Don't forget today's Wednesday, so that means tomorrow's Thursday. That means tomorrow's Q Day. Q in the Community. Tomorrow is going to be at the Garfield Sobers Gymnasium. All right. Now, Patricia Ben says, if I woke up and discovered I was invisible, I would head straight to the White House. I had that one already. She says, don't ask her anything more about that. What is your thought? Estelita Piles, she says, she's feeling you. I should get some lemon water and honey. Bring some lemon water and honey for me. I have to go check it out because I do have to get some honey a little later on today. The lemon water, but the honey for sure, to work on this. And it just happened. You guys know yesterday I was okay. And then suddenly, whoops, I started to cough a lot. And then the voice, as a consequence, suffered. The sore throat was there naturally, but such is life. I'm pressing on, I'm living, I have life, and I'm enjoying it as it is as well. So ask yourself, if you woke up invisible, what's the first thing you would do? I gave you mine. What is yours? What would you do? Monique said she would enjoy herself immensely. We just heard from Anne O.D. Maxwell. She said she'd have the time of her life writing and finishing even more books because no one can interrupt her. Estelita Pyle is saying, thank you for your comment, but Patricia Ben wants to go to the White House. She wouldn't tell me to meet with who. I hope when you get there as an invisible person, Patricia, that you run on to Elon Musk. Got you there. Got you good. I hope you butt up in him and that you can have some time understudying him and seeing what he's up to. But you guys have been absolutely tremendous today. As always, we are thankful for you keeping us company. And remember always, don't keep this to yourself. Tell others about us. Invite them to come watch it with you every single weekday morning, Monday to Friday. That's our time today. Our little crew says thanks to all of you. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning.